In a world on edge, one question remains. Can power exist without permission? In a quiet newsroom, a myth sits across from the one chasing truth. Accusations rise, borders are crossed. A war stopped or started. As the skies burn, one man dares to act alone. But in the shadows, Lex Luthor watches, ready to challenge a god. And just when all hope seems lost, a dog, a smile, a glimpse of the man beneath the cape. This summer, witness the legend redefined.
In this intense two-hander drama, Lois Lane grills Superman about his recent unauthorized actions, questioning whether he's become a reckless god. But as she digs deeper into his justifications for his behavior, is she actually praising him? Or is there more to the story? Let's get into it. Welcome to our channel, home of movie lovers, and the place to be if you want to talk all things movies. Come for the movie reviews and stay, because we love to break down stories and give you all the tools you need to understand them. If that sounds like your kind of channel, then hit that subscribe button and join our community today. Flixor is proud to present Man of Steel 2. For those who didn't catch the original, Man of Steel was released in 2013 and served as a reboot of the Superman franchise. The film starred Henry Cavill as Superman, Clark Kent, alongside Amy Adams as Lois Lane, Michael Shannon as General Zod Kevin Costner, as Jonathan Kent Russell Crowe, as Jor-El Lawrence Fishburne, as Perry White, Diane Lane as Martha Kent, and Christopher Maloney as Colonel Hardy. Zack Snyder directed the film, which grossed over $668 million worldwide against a budget of $225 million. But despite the commercial success, critics were less enthusiastic, with many feeling that the film glorified violence. It was also criticized for straying too far from Superman's traditional portrayal. However, some praised Amy Adams' performance as Lois Lane, calling it the best aspect of the film. The film begins with a flashback to the planet Krypton, where we learn that Jor-El believes the planet is doomed and sends his son Kal-El away to Earth just before Krypton explodes. The film then moves to Smallville, Kansas, where young Clark Kent struggles with his emerging powers. Meanwhile, General Zod, a Kryptonian soldier, arrives on Earth in search of baby Kal-El in order to use his DNA to rebuild Krypton. After discovering he isn't the only survivor, Zod becomes enraged and threatens humanity unless the US military hands him over. As the military prepares to comply, Clark reveals himself as Superman and battles Zod, ultimately defeating him. In the process, Clark decides to keep his identity secret for the time being. Now, in the sequel, Man of Steel 2, the world has learned Superman's true identity and is both fascinated and wary of the superhero. The film opens in Metropolis with a tense standoff between Superman and Lex Luthor. Luthor claims that Superman has been spying on him, which Superman denies. As they continue to argue, the room is suddenly filled with kryptonite, forcing Superman to flee. Later, Perry White assigns Lois Lane to interview Superman, but she soon discovers that he doesn't want to participate. Undeterred, she visits Smallville, Kansas, in hopes of getting closer to him. There she learns about his upbringing and how he developed his powers. Despite Lois's best efforts, Superman remains reluctant to share his thoughts on his recent actions. Still, he eventually agrees to meet with her in Metropolis, but their conversation quickly becomes heated when she accuses him of being a god. Superman denies the accusation, insisting that he's still the same person he's always been. Lois isn't convinced, though, and continues to push him until he finally admits that he's unsure of what to do next. What follows is a series of flashbacks showing Superman using his powers to stop a war and save innocent lives. Each scene is intercut with Lois's interview, which shows Superman becoming increasingly frustrated with her relentless questioning. He eventually breaks down and tells her that he doesn't know how to be Superman and that he's scared. This admission surprises Lois, who had previously thought that Superman was perfect. She realizes that he's just a regular guy who's trying his best and that he's not a god. Ultimately, she promises to help him through it. The film ends with Superman returning to Smallville to relax, but he can't shake the feeling that he's being watched. Back in Metropolis, Lex Luthor watches him from a darkened office and vows revenge. So let's dive into the main character of the movie, Superman, played by Henry Cavill. We see him in two different states here, that of Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter, and that of Superman, powerful alien hero. Both characters are driven by a sense of justice, but their methods for achieving it differ significantly. Clark, with his glasses and unassuming demeanor, relies on his intellect and compassion. Superman, on the other hand, uses his superhuman strength and speed to achieve his goals. In one pivotal scene, Superman rescues people from a burning building using his X-ray vision to locate survivors. When questioned about the incident later, he deflects attention away from himself, emphasizing the importance of anonymity and heroism. This highlights the conflict between Clark's desire to do good and his need for privacy. Lois Lane, portrayed by Amy Adams, is another central character in the movie. She embodies a blend of naivety and determination. At the beginning of the film, she's excited to interview Superman, but soon becomes frustrated by his reluctance to participate. Determined to get the answers she wants, she travels to Smallville, where she learns about Superman's past and the values instilled in him by his adoptive parents. Through flashbacks, we see Superman using his powers to help others. For example, he saves people from a collapsing bridge and stops a runaway train. These acts of heroism highlight Superman's compassion and selflessness, but also cause collateral damage, raising questions about responsibility and accountability. As the film progresses, we see Lois gradually warm up to Superman and accept him for who he is. This acceptance is demonstrated when she defends him against public criticism and helps him to see the value of hope and optimism. The relationship between Lois and Superman is complex and constantly evolving. Initially, she's drawn to his power and mystery, but soon becomes frustrated by his unwillingness to open up to her. As she gets to know him better, however, she develops genuine affection for him and becomes one of his staunchest supporters. One of the main themes explored in the film is the idea of hope. Superman represents hope for humanity, a symbol of goodness and justice in a world that often seems dark and hopeless. Despite facing opposition and criticism, Superman never gives up on his mission to help others, even in the darkest of times. Another significant theme is the conflict between good and evil. Superman's battle with Lex Luthor embodies this struggle, representing the constant battle between good and evil that takes place within us all. Ultimately, the film suggests that it's up to each of us to choose which side we'll fight for. The film's visual effects are impressive, particularly the action scenes, which showcase Superman's incredible powers and the destruction they can cause. The soundtrack is also noteworthy, perfectly capturing the film's tone and enhancing the emotional impact of key scenes. Overall, Man of Steel 2 is a well-crafted superhero film that explores complex themes and features strong performances from its lead actors. While some may criticize its darker tone and departure from traditional Superman portrayals, it's a refreshing take on the classic superhero narrative nonetheless. Lex Luthor, portrayed by Jesse Eisenberg, is the antagonist in the film. He's a brilliant but misguided businessman who feels threatened by Superman's power and influence. Luthor is consumed by a desire for revenge and will stop at nothing to achieve it. His actions serve as a foil to Superman's, highlighting the importance of using power responsibly and ethically. The film also features a number of supporting characters who help to flesh out the story and add depth to the world of Superman. Jonathan Kent, played by Kevin Costner, is Superman's adoptive father and serves as a mentor and role model for him. Jor-El, played by Russell Crowe, is Superman's biological father and provides guidance and support from beyond the grave. Other notable supporting characters include Perry White, played by Lawrence Fishburne, who heads the Daily Planet where Clark Kent works, and Martha Kent, played by Diane Lane, who provides unwavering love and support for Superman. So there we have it. A summary and breakdown of Man of Steel 2. We hope you enjoyed this video, and we hope it gave you some insight into this popular film. We would love to hear your thoughts on the movie and the characters. Do you agree with our analysis? What did you think of the film's ending? And what are your predictions for the future of the Superman franchise? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining us today, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our latest videos.